So I've been getting quite a few DMs or even just reading the comments, and a lot of you guys seem to struggle with itemization. This has been a video that's been requested quite a few times, so yeah, I'm going to be hopping into it today, looking at Team Secret's matches against Natus Vincere, or well known as Na'Vi. And basically the reason why I want to do this is you're going to see that their itemization in these matches that I'll be looking at is very profound. There's a clear and direct goal with their items that allow them to actually take down Na'Vi. In fact, if they go bad items this game, obviously, I think they'll lose. So yeah, if you guys are looking to improve your item builds, basically like this video and subscribe, and now let's get into it. And on top of the content you're going to be seeing today, I recently talked about Necro. I played a Necro game where live, I talked about all of my thoughts and really everything that came to mind. It was a very funny match as they basically gave up early on. But what I discussed was like how to crush the early game, how to really dominate your laning stage and not just go even. Because a lot of people think they're winning. They think they're doing okay, but at the end of the day, they're not really doing that well. So if you're interested in seeing that video, click the link down below to the gameleap website. It's over there. I've also made some other videos such as a live Legion game. I've even talked about Tidehunter recently, updating his course. We even have an updated Legion course now. And so there's so many things to check out on the gameleap website. Super cheap. A lot of time on our hands, I'm sure, right now because of the quarantine that I am also going through. Hopefully I'll see you guys there, and now let's get into the video. So for the first clip, we're going to be looking at Niche's Invoker. We're going to be looking at a team fight that is extremely noticeable. Basically, due to the proper itemization of Secret, this Invoker doesn't die to the Broodmother, right? This is typically a terrible matchup, especially considering the fact that the Brood has a BKB. So how does an Invoker survive a Brood that has a BKB? Well, there's two things. First off, we see a 4-staff into the war play. Pretty bizarre stuff. Does Solar Crest him up, and you're gonna notice following that, he's obviously gonna get gone on. On top of that, he gets hit by a 3-man stomp, and you're gonna notice immediately, right, a couple things happen. So number one, the first thing that we're gonna note, starting from the right going on, is that the Medallion of Courage from Puppy, right, is giving him 5 armor. On top of that, we see a Buckler, right, a Mechanism aura, Ring of Basilius doesn't really matter, Divine Favor, most importantly 3 more armor from Vladimir's Offering, and we have more armor from the Ring of Aquila. So in total, he's been giving around 10 armor here. And it's extremely notable because he also built a Solar Crest, giving him even more armor. Obviously 8 from the Solar Crest as well as some good stats. So the thing is, he committed his 4-staff, but he goes from a 9 armor hero, right, straight up 9 armor, to a 30 armor hero. And because they itemize like this, right, the Vlad's coming out, the Aquila, the Buckler, the Medallion from Puppy, he's able to live and completely walks it off, right? No problem at all, completely walks it off, and Na'Vi just gets absolutely kited, right? Seemingly they don't deal any damage, and that's because if you look at Na'Vi's lineup, they're purely physical damage. Now they have a little bit from the Grimstroke and some from the Shadow Demon, but obviously these are the 2 supports, so they don't need to be addressed nearly as much. And that's why you want to pay attention to the overall itemization here, right? First off, on the Chen, we have a Buckler, Bassi, Mech, Medallion, dealing with physical damage. The Tusk is going for a Spirit Vessel, that's not really having to do with this, but obviously good itemization, small items, going the Vessel against the heroes like Brood, and Centaur really helps out. The Invoker, as we talked about, Solar Crest and 4-staff, Beastmaster going for a Solar Crest and Vladimir of himself, and finally, Matama Man not going for a Radiance, which you could argue, oh, well, it's good against physical heroes. I think he wanted to keep up the tempo, as well as the fact that he's going to be getting buffed as a right-clicker here. He knows he's going to be getting Alacrity from the Invoker, the Beastmaster aura, and the tag team as well, including all buffs from Chen creeps, so he itemizes around that fact as well, and you can see it all comes together. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I apply this in pubs? How do I use this in my pubs? Well, what I recommend is you need to look at your teammates, you need to ask yourself, do we amplify magical damage? Maybe we have an AA or a Skywrath, right? A Pugna. Maybe then I'll go down more of a magical damage route, or even pick heroes to synergize with them. And most importantly, literally, and this is my key thing for itemization, if you are trying to itemize well, look at the enemy team, ask yourself, what do they have, right? What is their main damage source? Do they have a lot of stuns? And itemize around that. If you're an off-lane player and they have a lot of magical damage, buy a pipe. People just don't do this. If you're a support and the enemy team has a lot of magical damage, get a Glimmer, get a 4-staff to kite out those nukes. Items like this, and once again, same thing, if they have to man up, if it's a man up lineup, such as Brood, you want a Vlads, you want Solar Crests, this is what I'm talking about. These are the little items that make all the difference, and it's the reason, well, a big reason why Secret is on top. I mean, even on the side of Na'Vi, we're going to see a Crimson from the Centaur to deal with all the physical here, right? I mean, the other teams are doing it as well, but they don't have nearly as much items. Like, I don't even think they have a buckler on their team, which is a bit weird to me. I do actually think they should have a buckler. Even though it's a very small item, I really do think these type of things make the difference. And finally here, the last clip of this game that I'll be showing you, Matoma Man is going up the high ground with Aegis, and you're going to immediately see all the buffs come onto him, right? So what he's going to get this game is obviously a Solar Crest from his team. He has his Mjolnir to deal with spiders and the creep wave, and he obviously is also going to have the Inner Beast and Chen creeps when the time comes. And now as we look at the back half of this fight, you're going to notice Matoma Man's in the fray, and still Secret remembers to Solar Crest him, right? They actually have 2 on their team right now. And one of their players remembers to Solar Crest him, and this is going to give him an insane amount of physical damage, and just the ability to kill everyone. And this is the type of thing about Secret, they always remember to use their medium to small items that are really the biggest difference in Dota. Like, people think, oh, I have to get to this massive item to carry my team. More often than not, items like Crimson, Vlad's, and Solar Crest are the game changers, especially an item like Pipe in the right match. And now because they have Alacrity and Beastmaster Aura and an Armlet and, all these items, yeah, they take 3 racks in a couple of seconds. Now, of course, this is also their heroes, but all in all, this is a great first game showing off proper itemization. Alright, now getting into the first clip of the second match, we're going to be following Puppy, and he rushed a Guardian Greaves this game. On top of that, he also has a magic wand. Basically, I recommend you have wand on every single hero in Dota. I mean, honestly, if you guys don't know whether or not you should buy this item for the game, I would say the general answer is yes. I mean, if you just click on Secret or the game in general, you're going to notice that almost every single hero has a wand, right? 4 on Secret, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on Na'Vi. So really what I'm trying to say is that, guys, I see a lot of you low MMR players, even medium to divine. All right, I coach some people around that bracket as well, and I notice people not buying wand. This item is absolutely game changing. It's the best fighting item in Dota, and it's a major itemization issue for a lot of players. But now getting into this clip, you're going to notice with these Greaves, he's able to just frontline here and actually baits out a gank. That's exactly what he's doing here. You can tell by the positioning of the Earthshaker and the Monkey King that he is baiting. This is not him just trying to push the wave, he's straight up baiting, which is why he's able to get his E out, actually gets the stun off, a link, right? Obviously a silence to follow, and after popping the Greaves, he's able to tank up a ton of these right clicks from the Nature's Prophet that he otherwise wouldn't be able to. And you can see how long it takes Magical to kill him in this clip, and because of it, Magical ends up going down even through his BKB, right? As we can see here, he does go down, which is massive. That's an absolutely huge turning point of the game. Now moving on, I want to talk about Zai's itemization really quickly. So he's playing Timbersaw, the offlaner, and usually offlaners have the most diverse options when it comes to itemization. But what he goes this game is a Lotus Orb. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's going to purge the Orchid of the Nature's Prophet. It's going to help deal with the slow of the Mars, which might not seem like a big deal, but it definitely could help a certain hero not get kited, such as a Monkey King. And most importantly, it's going to help deal with the silence of the Death Prophet, right? Also on top of that, it's a great mixture of armor and the Dispel, which is exactly what he wants. He wants to be able to dispel the silences and have more armor, which is why he also has this Blade Mail. However though, because of the mixed damage lineup from Na'Vi, right, such as the Globs, the Mortimer's Kisses from the Snapfire, as well as the Arena of Blood from the Mars, and some Rubik Fade Bolts as well, he also has a Pipe, so clearly he's mixing up his damage types, and that's how you build items. You're like, oh, the enemy team has mixed damage, I better buy items that deal with mixed damage. And just to be clear, he rushed Pipe, because generally if the enemy team has any magical damage at all, Pipe is the cheapest and most effective item in terms of defensive capabilities in Dota, and I recommend you almost always buy it first on heroes like Centaur, Timber, etc., right? The tanks, even Underlord, these type of heroes, to just frontline for your team. Alright, now to end off the video, we're going to be looking at one more clip from Puppy's perspective. Number 1, he's built a Crimson Guard on a position 5 hero. Yes guys, if you have heroes like Medusa and Monkey King who need to stand their ground and fight against the likes of a Death Prophet, right, and a Nature's Prophet, this is a great item. Also, you guys could fact check me on this one, but Exorcism is a physical damage spell, which a lot of people actually don't realize. Death Prophet's ulti is physical, yes, physical, not magical, so I believe if you have Guardian Greaves and Crimson, it helps block the damage. Moving on from there, he also has a Ghost Scepter, which is going to help deal with the Divine, right, literally the Divine Rapier, Nature's Prophet, and finally Guardian Greaves to dispel all the silences we talked about earlier and basically deal with the Nature's Prophet overall. So as this fight breaks out here, you're going to notice his Medusa gets manned up on, right, by the Death Prophet. Pretty bad situation for him, but with the Greaves and the Crimson Guard, he's able to allow Matoma Man to get his BKB and Satanic off, basically saving the fight there, right? If he didn't have that Crimson and Greaves, there's a chance Matoma Man gets bursted, and the fight is completely different. And now as we move a bit further ahead in the fight, we're gonna see Puppey get focused by the Nature's Prophet, and I want you to ask yourself a question. Should a Nature's Prophet with a Divine Rapier and a Bloodthorn at that, as well as a Hex and an AC, be able to kill a Grimstroke in only a few attacks? Now, generally the answer would be yes, but Puppey gets hit like 6 or 7 times here before popping the Ghost and eats it, completely eats it. My man doesn't even feel it. Well, actually he does feel it, it hurts a little bit. But as you can see, he kites out the fight here, which ends up keeping him alive, right? Eventually getting him another silence onto the Nature's Prophet here, and because of it, he cancels the TP of the magical Nature's Prophet, and they end up winning the fight. He also got a full another Greaves off, and that's really the difference here. I see a lot of you guys, especially if you're playing 5 or even position 1, you buy this greedy item. I no joke, today, played against, in an unranked match, played against a PA who went Brown Boots Deso Basher. What is wrong with you? What is actually wrong with you? You can't do this. It doesn't work, and it's the same thing for supports. It's like the Lions who buy Blink when their team doesn't need an initiator, or they buy Blink and then they blink in and instantly kill themselves to get some completely useless Hex off. Stop. Play the backline. Buy defensive items. 9 times out of 10, they're going to save your life and actually allow you to deal more damage. And that's going to be the end of today's video. Hopefully you guys learned a lot about itemization. If you want to see a continuation of these series or even more niche examples for specific heroes, let me know and I'll definitely look into it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and adios. And hey guys, remember, before you end this video, in the link down below, I've been playing a lot of live games where I talk about my thoughts in real time in the middle of a Dota match. So if you want to get in the head of a pro player, click the link down below to the gameleap website. Super cheap right now, right? And I'm doing this a ton. We all have time on our hands. I have time to make content. You guys probably have time to enjoy and learn Dota, get better at the game. So yeah, if that combo works for you, click the link down below and I'll see you there.